the Venomancer Luna, which is good at keeping people away and harassing them away. It's very good versus offlaners that are trying to get in XP range, but it's not great at actually putting out a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And I think this is going to be a mid-Doom, and they might put the Clockwork on the solo safe lane and go aggressive. I'm not sure, though. There's a lot of options for them. They're keeping their hand under the table.
Yeah, and I mean, it could also be mid-Clockwork safe lane Doom, but at least they could be on any lane, basically. That's what it comes down to. Doom and Clockwork, they can be anywhere on the map right now, and it would all be okay. The only thing we know is that Earthshaker and Crystal Maiden are the supports, the core supports, I was gonna say, but supports. the two that are gonna help someone out. We just don't know who just yet. Maybe they don't know it for themselves either. I mean, it's a very flexible lineup for 0Respect as well, and they might just want to wait and see what comes out from 0Respect as they actually select themselves a Timbersaw, so hereby maybe revealing a bit more. However, Timbersaw can be off lane, he can be safe lane, he can be mid, you know, doesn't actually give anything away after all.
It is a little bit surprising to me that they decided to pick up the Timbersaw at this stage after a Doom pickup, because one thing that Doom is very good at dealing with is single core lineups and very mobile heroes. So he deals very well with Timbersaw, and if Timbersaw perhaps isn't in any certain fight, he can Doom the Luna, and suddenly at the moment 0Respect have no carry potential, which going later could be a little bit dangerous. Speaking further on the adaptable lanes thing here, I don't think they'll do it, but this is like the extent to which Relax can go greedy in this game. They can put the Doom in the jungle, they could put the Earthshaker on the off lane and block the Ancients, and they could put the Crystal Maiden dual jungling with the Doom, and they can still do it because both of them only need 1 or 2 camps. That's how greedy they can go. And in fact, they picked Shadow Fiend. They could be that greedy.
How? Because right now, with the Shadow Fiend pickup, like, what is 0Respect gonna do to stop them, right? What do they have that can really make their life miserable early on? Shadow Demon and Venomancer could, of course, roam into enemy jungle, but they might die there because they're still an Earthshaker, maybe roaming around close by. It could be. I would say it's a bit too greedy. I'm not expecting it to happen. Right now, I'm expecting actually a tri-lane from the Doom, Crystal Maiden, and Earthshaker. Just have Shadow Fiend mid and Clockwork on the offlane. It's very straightforward. And of course, that could also, like, they could leave, the supports could leave Doom alone very early on and start roaming. Get that Earthshaker Crystal Maiden combination to start doing some damage somewhere.
Yeah, 0Respect don't have great supports for actually punishing at this point. I mean, Venomancer and Shadow Demon, they're more about sort of zoning and keeping your own carry safe. If they wander off into the enemy jungle, Earthshaker and Crystal Maiden are way better at early levels at actually killing one of the others. So, yeah, for the moment, it's a little bit worrying. I think 0Respect have to pick up somebody who can get out some extra physical damage at this point, just because of the Doom pickup, and I'd be really worried if they just had a Luna versus a Doom. Single core lineups typically always do badly versus their hero.
Yeah. And all they need, like, is probably a mid hero, and I believe they have done Luna mid before, by the way. But I have to say, like, which hero, like maybe Dragonite, but you're up against a Shadow Fiend, and Dragonite is not having an easy time against Shadow Fiend at all. So I am actually kind of worried for 0Respect. Which other mid hero am I missing that could be really good right now for 0Respect? Storm Spirit, I guess. It's interesting because they're
surprised at Storm.
I
There's
guess
a Doom on the field.
I know, but
that's dangerous.
That's like the counter, basically. The only
thing the BM pick from 0Respect. They say, we have no respect for your Doom pick.
Yeah.
You're terrible at the hero. We'll just pick Storm Spirit and Timbersaw, like 2 of the heroes that need to be mobile the most versus a Doom.
Granted, they picked the Timbersaw before the Doom came out, right?
No, they picked it afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Doom was picked first.
That's extra surprising, actually. To be honest, I mean, it could be that they just want to make sure that there are 2 Doom targets, so that at least one of them is not going to get doomed.
Yeah, at the very least, they still have a fair amount of damage whoever gets doomed, but if they doom the Luna and then they have BKBs on the Shadow Fiend in the Doom, where does the damage come out from 0Respect? Storm can right-click them a little bit.
It has to be coming from the Luna.
Not enough. Yeah, it has to be coming from the Luna. That's all of their damage going later. I think a lot of this is going to be pivotal on how this Storm does, and whether Relax can shut him down with their supports at this point.
That is true. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Storm right now. I do agree with that, as we are actually in the game right now. So let's take a look at who's playing what. I am trying out a new HUD skin that I saw what someone was sharing. It's the new one. It's the one that where someone is underwater. If I click a portrait, like Doom is right now, it's drowning. So, yeah, feedback if you think it's too distracting on the overlay, people. I actually kind of like it, I guess. Let's take a look at who's playing what. We've got Fuck Off, who's actually Yoki here, playing the Doom. He will be playing, of course, for Relax on the Dire side here for this best of 3 for the Yard-wide Festival. Loser bracket finals, no small ordeal here, as he will be supported by RXDX playing the Crystal Maiden. We've got Dread playing the Earthshaker, Tiger in Space, otherwise known as Saklo, playing the Clockwork, and then last but not least, it will be Slashing playing the Shadow Fiend, but I believe it's also Carp, or otherwise known as Tima Wild. I think that's him anyways.
Yeah, and on the side of 0Respect, it is going to be on the solo safe lane here. It's going to be Wiz every day. That's going to be on the Timbersaw. I don't know who all these players are, if any of them are under fake nicks, but I know it's Funzy mid. He is Wiz.
Yeah.
Okay. It is Funzy going to be picking up the middle lane Storm Spirit. The carry for their aggressive tri-lane here, it's going to be Jural, and the supports are going to be Creo J, as well as Hugo on the Venomancer, as well as the Shadow Demon. So they are actually going aggressive here. I'm a little bit worried just because Earthshaker Crystal Maiden they're so powerful as supports, but Doom pretty weak in the laning stage, so potentially a good decision from them.
Yeah, it can definitely work out. If they can hold down that Doom on levels alone, like even if he gets farm on levels alone, it's going to be very important. Delaying his level 6 is going to give Storm and Timbersaw a lot more freedom to also get their farm on. As right now, Doom can't even get in range. I mean, basically there's 3 ranged heroes versus a melee carry, melee core, and even though there is a ranged support with that, it is a Crystal Maiden whose right-click damage is 38. Yay!
She's Dumbass Maiden.
Yeah,
is my new nickname for her because she's so stupid now.
Need more intellect, please. But she can't really harass. Like as a Crystal Maiden, it's already hard to out-harass someone. Imagine out-harassing a Venomancer who has got Lunar Blessing. Shadow Demon with the Lunar Blessing, and it's not an easy thing to do at all.
Yeah, you're gonna lose that fight if you try and actually harass people, but it seems like the side of Relax, they're confident in their draft here, and I totally support that just because of the whole Doom pick and the fact that they're kind of relying on their cores a little bit going later, because, I mean, Shadow Demon Venomancer don't scale particularly well. Veno's pretty good as far as team fights, but they're just going to passively farm for the moment. They're not actually worrying about trying to get kills. So that's, interesting by them. Yeah. They're not bothered about the farm right now.
Well, they are only worried about shutting down that Doom by the looks of it. Trying to slow him down. In the meantime, here in the middle lane, we've got ourselves Shadow Fiend sitting on 7-0. So he's now 7-1. So he's up to 8 souls, which is enough for him to actually contest Funzy on his last hits, who is 8 for 2 for now, but he will have a harder time from this point onward. This is the part where it starts to get hard for a Storm Spirit, and where he just wants to get his level 6 as fast as possible. In the meantime, we might have ourselves First Blood. It is actually Crystal Maiden who got disrupted and is now stuck, and will get picked up unless there is a very, very fast Fissure, but the Fissure didn't come. Crystal Maiden dies, Shadow Demon with the credit. And that block with the Shadow Fiend or Shadow Demon illusions. Did I call him Shadow Fiend more than once? Shadow Demon.
No. That's the first time you called him Shadow Fiend.
Good.
No worries.
Shadow Demon. You go boss.
You go boss.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he pretty much secured that first blood there, so we can call him that. If they hadn't have actually been there in the time, I think they probably would have lost the Storm Spirit, because the Crystal Maiden and the Earthshaker were actually coming around to gank him, and they were using the regen rune that was at top as bait, but they do get that first blood, so they get that laning advantage, but for the moment, Relax don't seem bothered. They're actually playing a really passive game style at the moment because they know they kind of have their secret weapon, which is we doom the Luna in the mid game. We've got a BKB on our Shadow Fiend, and you can't hurt us anymore.
Yeah, middle lane will be won by Shadow Fiend, and as long as they don't really do anything stupid on top lane, they should not die. And perhaps 0Respect is going to get frustrated by not getting kills and might actually do something stupid so that they die. I mean, you can only hope if you're relaxed. And of course, Clockwork, like, he is doing okay. Of course, it's not the easiest lane to be up against. He should not be able to win this lane, but he's getting levels, which is the most important thing for him. Get that level 6 up, and once he has it, perhaps try to make something happen, move around. If he can help out top lane, then all the better. But yeah, you're right there. They are.
He should be okay.
Yeah, but they're really doing their name justice.
Yeah, they're playing okay. They're playing sort of safe. They're being pretty passive about it.
Oh,
this Clockwork versus Timbersaw.
There is a disruption. They want to go for this Doom. The Gale already came out. Do they have enough damage? I think they do with the Soul Catcher on there. A couple more right clicks needed, and it is again Mr. Boss that gets it. Aged Boss, you go. Yep, I did it again.
He's gonna be Hugo Boss now, whether he likes it or not. This is how life is gonna be.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah, but this is part of the weakness of running a defensive tri-lane with a Doom in it. Doom is one of the weakest actually laning carry heroes. He's great as far as what he can do in the mid game, but he's very much spell based and he needs a lot of XP. One thing he has got that will probably actually help him a ton in here, because it's crazy powerful, is he's picked up the Chain Lightning now. So he can actually put out as much harass damage as this entire tri-lane, because Chain Lightning is ridiculous. This is from the Harpy, for those who don't know. And
it's pretty cheap as well. Doom overall is a hero that does... Oh, that Fisher was maybe a bit on the wrong side, as I actually skipped away from middle lane for that, or from bottom lane. We're going to go back to bottom, though, because it looks like maybe Clockwork is in some trouble. No, Battery Assault. Oh, yes, he is in trouble, that's for sure. Is there some more mana? The hookshot comes out just to stop Wiz. It's enough. Shadow Fiend is the one to go down in the middle lane. That was the one kill that we just missed. But the rotation came out from Creo, and that led to a Gale into a kill. So a safe play from them, while the Fisher out on top lane probably could have been placed a bit more to the south, and that probably would have killed off Joral in the end, but it did not happen.
Yeah, they probably just about worked out what was happening when they saw the Doom running forwards with the Chain Lightning, and that Fisher wasn't able to block him off. If it had blocked him off, Joral was 100% dead then. I actually went and did the map.
Shadow Fiend came back.
Mid lane again.
Yeah, he is actually gonna get caught out again. I mean, he came back, tried to be greedy by taking down the Venomancer, but Storm was there, and is now level 7, and of course he zips in with the Vortex and everything is over. And Shadow Fiend shut down early in the game. It's pretty scary, to be honest. I mean, you're now putting a lot of pressure on this Clockwork to do really well, to buy time for the rest of the team. I mean, I think like they're not out of this by any stretch. I mean, they're still very strong in the mid game. They just have to buy time and just not die, not give away too much. Is basically what it comes down to. And if they do, it is all going to come down to the Clockwork and his hookshot to make plays, as we do have the tri-lane once again reunited on the top lane after Creo comes back from regening.
Yeah, and this mid lane now is very dangerous from the Shadow Fiend, because he actually needs a support behind him to survive versus the Storm Spirit. I mean, look how Funzy's playing here. He's looking for a kill. He's playing very high up on the lane. He's even popped off his DD, but the supports are going to come through. He's level 8, though. He's going to get out of this almost certainly, if they do try to gank him.
Yeah, on the bright side for Relax, if they get him, if they actually get him, they would get a lot of experience for it. But as you said, I mean, he's level 8. He's tanky enough to survive through all of this and then even come back, as his own supports might be coming in as well. They find themselves someone else. It is a disruption on the Doom. Afterwards, they back off. Don't want to really overextend, not knowing that Dread as well as Crystal Main are pretty close by. In the meantime, Joral, not bothered by anything, just pushing the tower, farming up, and he is highest on last hits on the map at the moment.
Yeah, his farm is pretty much uncontested here. The Doom, I mean, he's got Chain Lightning, but he's so low on mana at this point that he can't do anything. And actually, they're going to turn around and get the kill.
I really don't know why he came back, actually. I was not following that because I was not interesting play there. But they didn't even really use that much for it, apart from Eclipse, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the creeps were in range. He didn't have any creeps on the Doom side. There was more than enough creeps for Joral to just run up and Oh, bottom lane, actually. Clockwork, surprise kill indeed.
Yeah, we're gonna follow back on top, though, as we do have a fortification coming out. Dread taking a large beating here, but he looks to be able to make it away, and maybe Jirale can still pick him up with one Lucent Beam. Yep, and that's a kill for him. Tower still gets denied to the Shadow Fiend, though, and Jirale, he's running for his life right now. He does have the Venomancer close by, might be able to help out, as we do have Shadow Demon teleporting out in the nick of time. Storm zipping in. Long zip, actually, as well. They want to take down the Shadow Fiend. Do they have the damage? No! Oh my god, he gets himself a kill on the Luna. He will still go down, giving Fancy a double kill, but he got a kill before that, which was a pretty big ordeal. I don't think that they needed to lose that one, as this Doom is still not level 6, by the way. He's still getting harassed by the Venomancer, now being left alone again. Talking about being left alone, Dread wants to be left alone. Gets his wish granted, as Wiz backs off. But that's a tier 1 tower down, denied or not. I mean, it is denied, but it's still down. It's still extra space for 0Respect to farm. It's relaxed that they're losing ground. They are.
They definitely are. They basically just need this level 6 on the Doom. It adds so much to them, and that allows them to play at their own pace, because every 100 seconds they can get a guaranteed kill on the Timbersaw or the Storm Spirit, or even the Luna, if she happens to be without her Shadow Demon helping her. So they're kind of looking for that at the moment. They're actually going to go for a smoke on the bottom lane, but they don't at the moment have a dedicated target. There's no one that they see down here until now, and actually it's going to be a full tri-lane, so it's going to be dangerous, but their clock is very strong at this point.
Yeah, but this could turn around real fast. I mean, there is, of course, that tier 1 tower. People can teleport in at any moment. The tower is kind of on cooldown in terms of teleports. It won't be the fastest one, but they're going to try for it. Already, the Fisher comes out. That's going to be disruption, saving Jirale's life for the moment. It might be enough. Is he going to make it out? He is running for his life, and it looks like it is going to be enough. Dread can't make anything happen, and Jirale comes back trying to take a kill, but it is Wiz that takes a double. Hugo takes the other one, and that's 3 for 0 in favor of 0Respect. Wow, that turned around so fast. That cooldown on the teleport, as in, you know, there were already 2 teleports to that tower, so the teleport that came in was a bit slower than the rest, but it didn't matter after all. I mean, the disruption was perfectly timed, but might be a bit too close, but nonetheless, very well done for 0Respect.
Yeah, and a bit of a mistake from the side of Relax there. They came in, their Clockwork initially had a hookshot opportunity, cancelled it because he wasn't sure it was going to hit, and by that time, the side of 0Respect, they have enough time to sort of react in their heads, come up with a game plan. It's only a couple seconds, but it gives them just enough time to know how to deal with it. The Shadow Demon can position perfectly for a disruption. Otherwise, they could have, you know, been able to find out where the Shadow Demon was, and if that had been a slightly faster paced gank from them, they probably would have been okay, because the Clockwork was very strong at this point. I mean, you saw how much damage he did to their Luna.
Yeah, I mean, Luna really
he isn't able to finish
died.
them off with the Shadow Demon.
It was, I mean, the Fisher was also perfect, didn't get Luna out of the cogs. It went really well. At the moment, I mean, yeah, the Clockwork is strong. I'm kind of waiting for the Shadow Fiend to really start kicking in as well, but so far he's actually died 3 times. I mean, yeah, great, he got a kill earlier on the Luna herself, which is, you know, good kill, yeah, but he lost so much that he is actually, even though he's highest for his team, he's very far behind the Storm Spirit, who he should be winning mid from, should have won mid from, which he didn't in the end by dying twice.
Yeah, I mean, he's way out CS'd Funzy, but it doesn't really matter if you die 3 times and lose a ton of your gold, and Funzy gets all the gold from you as well. So they basically just need a BKB on him. That's the big item for them this game, because it stops so much of 0Respect's damage, and they have ways to shut down the right-click damage as well, because they have the Doom on their side. But for the moment, the Doom, you know, he hasn't got any sort of initiation tool, no Shadow Blade, no Blink Dagger, doesn't even have a mech to keep himself alive for long enough, and with the Shadow Demon, with the Shadow Fiend being so vulnerable as well, they've just given away too many kills at this point and need to play very defensively. I mean, look at the support positioning. They're right behind the Shadow Fiend the whole time, not trying to kill anyone.
Oh, Demonic Purge coming out for the Doom. He gets Vortex before he can actually get his Doom off. He dies. Own is being called. In comes the hookshot though. Gets the Shadow Demon, but he still has disruption. He should be okay as Wiz tries to get himself out of here. Won't be able to do so. Good kill there for the Shadow Fiend with his haste rune. And maybe he can get, yeah, he can get a double kill. He can get Hugo as well. No longer the boss. His killing spree gold also goes the way of the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, they got the Doom, which is of course very good, but they gave 2 kills away to the Shadow Fiend. And there, what you said paid off. The support sitting behind that Shadow Fiend, ready to help out, really paid off. They were at the right time. They were close by enough that they could actually help. And that's a lot of gold going the way of the Shadow Fiend, who's now a lot closer to starting up with his, well, what I'm assuming is going to be a BKB, but he hasn't bought any items just yet, next to his treads.
It really has to be a BKB. There's nothing else that he can go for. He's actually man-fighting here. This is... I mean, I guess he has the bottle, but... Jesus. If there was a support in the area he didn't know about, he'd be dead right now.
Yeah. It's a very tricky opponent to man-fight as well. A Timbersaw? Yeah, good luck with that. I wouldn't want to be that person then. But yeah, the bottle... He still has 14 stick charges, I guess, as well, which helps him out. Still has his supports next to him again, by the way. Well, I call Clockwork a support, but he is going to be there to try and help out should he be in trouble. All 5 heroes of Relax are around that middle area. They're completely giving up on trying to get lane experience, and that's because of the good pick-off potential that 0Respect has at this moment, of course, with a lot of mobility from the Storm and from the Timbersaw as well, as I guess 0Respect are doing the same. They're sitting with 4 in mid lane, 5 in mid lane now actually, with Luna coming out as well. Finished up.
Well, they know they're stronger, so they may as well try and force a fight.
Oh, like that you mean? Ooh, Fisher gets dodged by Funzy, still hits up on Hugo, but they don't commit to this jump in from Funzy, who actually, I mean, he lost a lot of mana doing that one.
Yeah, it's always... It's something you never want to have to do as a Storm Spirit, which is actually ball too much. You only really want to use ball 2 or 3 times in a fight, if you can... That's why people go for BKB and stuff on him, because you actually don't want to have to be continuously balling around, because you can't fight as much then.
Yep, oh,
and you
Fisher
use mana.
comes out, and Storm zips away in time. Clockwork, though, hooks in, gets a Venomancer kill with a Doom taking the last hit with the Shockwave from the Satire that he stole. Doom comes out on Funzy as well. He'll try to run and perhaps he'll get denied, but for now, no deny. That's a double kill for this Doom, double kill for Yoki as they catch the Timbersaw, but it's 2 strength heroes. He has to be very careful. The Whirling Death came out and now the rest gets forced away. Shuklo is going to get Vortex. Funzy, who bought back, is back here to take the kill. No TP home. Shadow Fiend comes in on the side, way far out. Gets a Shadow Demon still, as they also will try to take care of the Doom. Funzy might actually get a double kill. Nope, it's the Venomancer that takes the gold for it, but I'd say that's a worthy buyback for Storm Spirit. They do lose their Shadow Demon still, but I guess, you know, he made sure that the Doom as well as the Clockwork were just left alone by the rest of their team.
Yeah, and really, if they hadn't overextended and tried to get the Timbersaw then, Relax would have been fine with that fight. Probably would have got everybody out. The Storm Spirit buyback wouldn't have got as much, so it's kind of desperation from the side of Relax, and maybe it's a little bit too much from them, considering I really like their game plan, actually, this game. I think it could be really solid, but they're playing perhaps just a little bit uncoordinated, maybe not try and make the... Oh dear, 5 Dread.
Whoa! Echo, slam, panic button, press R. I kind of find this funny. They, like, Relax, they've placed a ward on their own side of the map. You know, it's awesome. Observer ward standing there happily on a corner, and they place a sentry to just try and counter the one that might be up on the high ground, but their enemies have placed a ward at exactly the same place. And, well, they were actually outside of range of the sentry
bottom
ward.
lane, Giral.
Eclipse coming out. It's not going to be enough to stay alive, though. Perhaps there's going to be a Shadow Demon trying to make something happen. No disruption coming out to stop the teleport happening from from someone there. Oh, no. They're not going to go in. That's too risky. Hugo, you better run.
This DD Shadow Fiend, for the moment, he's not been able to do that much damage, but you can see the difference that room control can make in a game like this. They're able to get a kill on the enemy carry who was vastly out-farming him, and now he's coming back. Tamo Wild is coming back. He's actually top of the net worth right now, and he's even going to get a deny as well. So this is the comeback potential for Relax. Their mid-game is so strong, and their potential in a fight is very high, but they have to execute it, and for the most part, they haven't been.
Yeah, 0Respect, I mean, they're in the same story, right? I mean, they had a good laning stage, they had a good start, and now they kind of seem lost at what to do. I mean, they're very reactive. They react to what Relax is doing. They don't really have their own plan from what it looks like, where they can stick to. And, you know, for example, okay, let's take out that last tier 1 tower on the bottom lane as a hookshot comes in, takes down Hugo. Perhaps the cogs are there. Hugo cannot disrupt himself anymore. The stun from the Fisher takes too long for him to actually get it off. Gale still hit upon 2. But Venomancer just tries to run. Looks to be successful. 4 enemy heroes in 0Respect's jungle. And they definitely do seem to have a plan. Bottom tier 1 tower seems to be the goal, the target. As it's 2 versus 4 if a fight breaks out right now. 2 versus 5 even. I don't know if Creo and Wish want to stick around here, but unfortunately for Wiz, he doesn't have a teleport scroll, and Creo, he just wants to place his wards. Well, this is very risky.
There's no potential for 0Respect to defend this, and actually, yeah, they know it. They're going to try and get out. They actually get the Doom off on Wiz, so he's probably going to go down from this. Nobody else is coming in.
Yeah, perhaps Wiz is still going to get allowed to run. Maybe a Frostbite coming out. No, it's still on cooldown. But it looks like he won't, yeah, he won't die. Or he won't die, actually. Or will he die? Timber's chain away. He still has a negative urn charge on him. And that's a kill. Yeah, right there. The urn charge doing enough damage with the level death. As we also had the Earthshaker picked up by the Shadow Demon. Yoki as well as RXDX backing out from the jungle as a Clockwork actually on the far other side of the map takes Storm Spirit out by himself. Solo kill.
Yeah, he'd actually tried to fight against slashing for a little bit there on the Shadow Fiend, decided it was bad, then went out of there, used up all his mana, and as soon as Clockwork gets sight of him, he actually kills him off with the hook shot there. So that was just nice play from Tame My Wild to basically keep calm and fight against the Storm Spirit, and Clockwork kind of just finishes things off in the end.
Yeah, and 0Respect, despite the good start they have, it's gonna come down to, well, a lot of it is gonna come down to the Luna anyways. She has started to build her BKB, almost is ready actually, needs about 800 something gold. BKB is ready on the Shadow Fiend though, and, I mean, yeah, she had a great start, but as we already pointed out, she is no longer highest on net worth, which is actually something that I feel like she should be. It's not like, because she got levels decently, so she should be able to farm with the Moonglaves. Obviously, Shadow Fiend farms maybe a bit faster with his raises, but I don't know, feels a bit meek to me. Meager. So
yeah, she's got pretty meager farm, considering she's only got 2 deaths.
Yeah.
And the Shadow Fiend's been bullied in the middle lane. There's been a lot of supports coming in to constantly stop him. He's never had really free farm. He's had to work a lot more, and Luna, she's been kind of left alone until very recently, and still doesn't have a BKB at 20 minutes, but that said, she does have the advantage of a Helm of the Dominator, so her long duration ability to get farm is a bit better for the moment, but at the moment, it looks like the Shadow Fiend is going to be able to do some serious work this game. It's going to depend on what the next item that he's going to pick up is actually going to be. I wouldn't even be surprised by something like a Skadi at this point, just because then he literally becomes invincible. It's already very difficult for them to kill him with the Black King bar, but if he gets that, anybody that tries to escape from him is going to be very difficult to deal with. I don't know. There's a lot of options for him, though. He could just get a Manta or something.
There's a lot of options. I would like to see at least a Yasha before anything else, just to get that attack speed going. Perhaps that might be something that he is looking for. As one thing that I actually just came to mind, I mean, Doom has finished up his mechanism. He went for phase and drums, just very early game fighting oriented build. Also the one to carry the mechanism for his team, because otherwise it perhaps would have been Clockwork, but he rather wants to have a 4-staff, and Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker are just not going to get enough farm. And Earthshaker should prioritize a Blink Dagger anyway. But that's where 0Respect's problems come, because who is going to be their mechanism builder? You'd think maybe the Timbersaw, because again, Venomancer and Shadow Demon also just do not have the farm to actually try and go for that mechanism. And what are they typing? What the hell? Oh well. But yeah, there have been quite a few fights already, and the mechanism could really make a difference, especially if you're gonna be like in a team fight, you're gonna be taking damage from a Fissure and from a Nova, right? That's just AoE damage, and it's actually quite decent amount. You just want to have a mechanism to get that out of the way, to just heal yourself back up again and make sure you're not already half dead before the fight.